2.8% raise, $56 a month. That's what Social Security promised you for 2026. But when you opened your January check, you didn't get $56 more. You got 38. $18 vanished before you ever saw it. Medicare Part B took $17.90 of your raise, automatically deducted from your check. No warning, no vote, no choice. And the formula they used to calculate that raise? It doesn't even count retirees. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where every missing dollar went and what you can do about it. I'll also show you 3 government programs that could eliminate your Medicare premium entirely. Most seniors who qualify have never applied. If that sounds like information worth having, subscribe to this channel right now, because when the 2027 numbers drop in October, I'll break them down the same day so you're ready before the letter arrives. So, the math nobody showed you. Start with the average retired worker's benefit in 2025, $2,015 a month. A 2.8% COLA means a $56 increase. Sounds decent, right? Now subtract the Medicare Part B premium hike. In 2025, the standard premium was $185. In 2026, it jumped to $202.90. That's a $17.90 increase, pulled straight from your Social Security check before a single dollar hits your bank account. 56 minus $17.90. Net gain, $38. Medicare consumed 32% of your entire raise. And that's not where the bleeding stops. Your first doctor visit of 2026 triggers the new Part B deductible, $283. That's $26 more than last year's $257. A single doctor visit wipes out another 68% of your monthly gain. After one appointment, you're no better off than 2025. Your raise disappeared. The Center for Retirement Research at Boston College put it bluntly. Higher Medicare premiums will eat up more than 25% of Social Security's COLA. And in an AARP survey last September, 77% of adults 50 and older said even a 3% COLA would not be enough to keep up. They're right, because this isn't a one-time thing. Look at the last 3 years. In 2024, Part B premium growth outpaced COLA by a ratio of roughly 1.9 to 1. In 2025, it widened to 2.4 to 1. In 2026, it hit 3.5 to 1. The gap is accelerating. Zoom out further. Over the decade from 2016 to 2026, Medicare Part B premiums rose 67%. Social Security COLAs over that same stretch totaled about 30.5%. Medicare is growing more than twice as fast as your raise. And according to the Senior Citizens League, Social Security benefits have lost roughly 20% of their buying power since 2010. To catch back up, your check would need to go up $370 a month. That's not happening. So why does Medicare outrun Social Security every single year? The answer starts with a formula created in 1975 that was never meant for you. Whether you earn $1,200 a month or $8,000 a month, at least one part of what I'm about to show you applies to you directly. Stick around. The formula is called CPI-W. It stands for Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. Read that name again, wage earners, clerical workers, not retirees. CPI-W measures the spending patterns of people who are actively employed, working at least 37 weeks a year. Retirees are excluded from the survey by definition. That matters because seniors don't spend money the way working people do. Think about what CPI-W actually tracks. It's built around a younger worker's budget, commuting costs, childcare, electronics that keep getting cheaper every year. When the price of a flat-screen TV drops 15%, CPI-W registers that as deflation. Great for a 35-year-old, irrelevant to you. Meanwhile, the costs that dominate your budget barely register in CPI-W's weighting. Americans 65 and older spend roughly double on healthcare compared to the population. CPI-W actually tracks. For those 75 and older, it's nearly triple. And housing, what property taxes, homeowners insurance, assisted living, takes a bigger share of a retiree's budget than a young commuter's. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has known this for decades. Back in 1988, they created an alternative index called CPI-E, the Consumer Price Index for the elderly. It gives heavier weight to healthcare and housing, which is exactly what retirees spend more on. Social Security actuaries estimate that using CPI-E instead of CPI-W would add about 0.2 percentage points to the COLA each year. That sounds small, but it compounds. For someone who retired in 1999, Using CPI-E instead of CPI-W would have added roughly $5,000 in cumulative benefits. For someone retiring more recently, that gap grows to over $12,000 across a 25-year retirement. Under CPI-E, the 2026 COLA would have been 3%, not 2.8. This formula has been unchanged for over 50 years. Bills to fix it, the Fair COLA for Seniors Act, the Boosting Benefits and COLAs for Seniors Act, have stalled in every single Congress. Nobody's voted to change it. But the formula is only half the problem. Something else is quietly inflating your Medicare premium, and it has nothing to do with your own health care. In 2021, the FDA approved an Alzheimer's drug called Aduhelm. Biogen priced it at $56,000 per patient per year. Medicare didn't wait to see how many people actually took the drug. They built reserves into the 2022 Part B premium based on projected spending. Result, the 2022 premium spiked to $170.10, up $21.60, a 14.5% jump, the largest dollar increase in Medicare history at that time. Then Biogen cut the price. CMS restricted coverage to clinical trial participants only. Actual spending collapsed. The 2023 premium dropped back to $164.90. Your premium wasn't based on what Medicare actually spent. It was based on what they projected they would spend. And when they overshoot, the money comes out of your check first. A more recent example, Medicare spending on skin substitutes, wound dressings, often made from placental tissue, exploded from $252 million in 2019 to over $10 billion in 2024. A 40 times increase fueled by aggressive billing. CMS cracked down in 2026. Without that intervention, your Part B premium would have been roughly $11 a month higher. So yes, other people's billing fraud raises your premium too. Now for the part most people don't see coming. Medicare Advantage plans, the private insurance alternative to traditional Medicare, are overpaid, massively overpaid. According to the Joint Economic Committee of Congress, MA plans received $76 to $84 billion more in 2025 than traditional Medicare would have cost for the exact same patients. 55% of Medicare beneficiaries, 34.4 million people, are enrolled in Medicare Advantage. And those overpayments come from the Part B trust fund, which means all Part B enrollees pay for them, including you if you're on traditional Medicare. Put a dollar figure on it. In 2025 alone, Medicare Advantage overpayments added $212 to every Part B enrollee's annual cost. That's almost $18 a month baked into your premium, not because you used more health care, but because private insurers got overpaid. Since 2016, traditional Medicare enrollees have shouldered about $6 billion of that overpayment burden, and the projection is worse. By 2035, Part B premiums are expected to roughly double to around $5,000 a year. About $450 of that annual bill would come from Medicare Advantage overpayments alone, if nothing changes. Think about that. You might be paying higher traditional Medicare premiums because private insurance companies are being overpaid. And nobody asked you. If those overpayments were eliminated, seniors could save approximately $2,600 over the next decade. Now you know who's taking your money, the formula, the projections, and the private insurers. But there's one more thing most seniors get wrong: the hold harmless rule. You probably think it protects you. For most of you, it doesn't. The hold harmless provision prevents your Social Security check from going down because of a Medicare Part B premium increase. Your net check can't be reduced below last year's amount. That sounds like protection, but it doesn't preserve your COLA. It only prevents a decrease. There's a huge difference between your check won't go down and your raise will survive. In 2026, hold harmless fully protects only beneficiaries receiving about $639 a month or less. If you're getting the average benefit, around $2,000 a month, you absorb the full $1,790 increase. And roughly 30% of enrollees, 18 million people or more, aren't protected at all. New enrollees in their first year on Medicare. Anyone paying an IRMAA surcharge, Medicare Savings Program, enrollees, people paying Part B out of pocket. We saw what happens when hold harmless gets stress tested. In 2016, there was zero COLA. Not low, zero. The protected 70% kept paying their old premium of $104.90, same as 2015. But the unprotected 30%, they faced a potential 52% spike from $104.90 all the way to $159.30. Two neighbors on the same Medicare paying wildly different premiums, simply because one had been on Social Security longer than the other. Congress had to pass emergency legislation, the Bipartisan Budget Act, to cap the unprotected premium at $121.80. That was still a 16% hike, the largest in years. Hold harmless means your check won't go down. It does not mean your raise will survive. And if you earn even slightly more than you think, there's another trap waiting. It's called IRMAA, the Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And it's a cliff, not a ramp. Earn $1 over $109,000 as a single filer, and your Part B premium jumps from $202.90 to $284.10. That's an extra $81.20 a month. $974 a year for $1. And the part that catches people off guard, IRMAA uses a 2-year look-back. Your 2024 income determines your 2026 premium. Your 2026 income determines your 2028 premium. So if you sold a house in 2024, took a large required minimum distribution, or did a one-time Roth conversion, you may have pushed yourself into a higher IRMAA bracket 2 years later without realizing it. This happened to millions of people already. When the Social Security Fairness Act passed in January 2025, it eliminated the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. More than 2.8 million former public employees, including teachers, firefighters, and police officers, received retroactive lump sum payments. Some of those payments pushed their 2025 income above an IRMAA threshold, which means higher Medicare premiums in 2027. And if you did a voluntary Roth conversion, you can't appeal. Voluntary conversions don't qualify as a life-changing event under the IRMAA rules. Now you know the full picture. A formula that ignores you. Private insurers inflating your bill, hold harmless that doesn't hold, income cliffs that can cost thousands. That's the bad news. The good news is there are 3 specific programs, funded by the taxes you paid your entire working life, that can reduce or eliminate these costs. Program 1 is for anyone who got hit by IRMAA because of a life event. The form is called SSA-44. That's SSA-44. It's the one form that can lower your Medicare premium. 8 events qualify. Marriage, divorce or annulment, death of a spouse, retirement, work reduction, loss of income-producing property from disaster or fraud, loss of pension income, employer settlement payment from a business closure or bankruptcy. If any of these happened and your income dropped, you file SSA 44 with your local Social Security office. Processing takes 30 to 90 days. If approved, refunds can be retroactive. If they deny you, there are 4 levels of appeal beyond that. You don't have to accept the first no. What does not qualify? Voluntary Roth conversions and voluntary IRA withdrawals. If you're planning to convert, complete it before age 63. That way the income falls outside IRMAA's 2-year look-back window by the time you hit 65 and start Medicare. A conversion at 63 lands right inside that window. If your income is well below $109,000, this specific program isn't for you. But what comes next could save you thousands more. Program 2 is called Extra Help. Its official name is the Part D Low Income Subsidy, and it can make your prescription costs nearly disappear. If your income is below $23,475 a year as a single person, or $31,725 as a married couple, you may qualify. What it gives you: no Part D premium, no deductible, copays capped at $5.10 for generics, and $12.65 for brand name drugs. After $2,100 out of pocket, you pay nothing for the rest of the year. The average annual value is $5,700 per person. If you already have Medicaid, if you're in a Medicare savings program, or if you receive SSI, you're automatically enrolled. Everyone else can apply at ssa.gov or call 1-800-777-21213. And let me be clear, this is not welfare. You paid Medicare taxes your entire working life. This is a benefit you already funded. Extra Help saves you $5,700 a year on prescriptions. But the next program can save even more, and it's the one that 6 million eligible seniors have never heard of. This is the big one: Medicare Savings Programs, MSPs, 3 tiers, and the first one can make your Medicare effectively free. QMB, Qualified Medicare Beneficiary. If your income is below $1,350 a month as a single person, you qualify. No premiums, no deductibles, no copays. Medicare becomes free. What does that look like in practice? Say you visit your doctor for a follow-up. Under standard Medicare, you'd owe 20% coinsurance on every covered service after your deductible. A $200 office visit means $40 out of your pocket. An MRI runs $1,000. You owe $200. With QMB, your share is $0. No bill, no coinsurance, no copay. The program covers it. That's $2,434 a year in premiums alone, plus you automatically get extra help, another $5,700 in drug savings. Total over $8,100 a year back in your pocket. SLMB, Specified Low Income Medicare Beneficiary. Income up to $1,616 a month. Your Part B premium, $202.90 is paid for you. That's $2,434 a year. QI, Qualifying Individual. Income up to $1,816 a month. That's roughly $21,800 a year. Part B premium covered. Same savings. First come, first served. And this is the part that should make you angry. 43% of the people who qualify for these programs have never applied. More than 6 million Americans are eligible right now and don't know it. The main barriers: paperwork, lack of awareness, and stigma. Every month you go without MSP enrollment is $202.90 left on the table. That's real money. That's your money. A 2025 federal rule streamlined enrollment to reduce the red tape. To apply, contact your state Medicaid agency, call SHIP at 1-877-839-2675, or visit benefitscheckup.org. You earned this. You paid into Medicare for decades. This isn't charity. It's your money coming back. If you qualify for any of these programs and you didn't know until right now, that's exactly why this channel exists. I just gave you a lot of information. One thing to do today: call SHIP, the State Health Insurance Assistance Program. It's free, completely unbiased, and not affiliated with any insurance company. The number is 1-877-839-2675, or go to shiphelp.org. Here's what to expect. A trained counselor picks up, not a salesperson, not an automated menu. They'll ask about your income, your current coverage, and what you're paying. The call usually takes about half an hour. By the end of it, you'll know which programs you qualify for and exactly how to apply. They can even walk you through the paperwork on the phone. There's no cost, no obligation, and no product to sell. When you call, tell them your situation and ask the right question for you. If your income is under about $1,816 a month, ask about Medicare savings programs. If you're spending heavily on prescriptions and your income is under $23,475, ask about extra help. If you had a life event that spiked your income, ask about filing Form SSA 44. And while you're at it, pull out your benefit notice from last November. Compare the premium deduction on your check against the CMS published rates. Errors happen. Pay attention to what's coming next. The 2027 COLA is projected at 3.9%, about $81 a month. Sounds better than this year. But Part B is projected to rise to $218.60. That's another $15.70 increase. The formula is still broken. CPI-W still ignores retirees. Medicare Advantage overpayments continue. Premiums are still set on projections that may or may not pan out. The pattern started accelerating in 2024. No legislation has passed to fix it. This will keep happening. Every year, Medicare takes a bigger bite of your COLA. And every year, there are programs and appeals you can use to fight back, if you know about them in time. Subscribe to this channel right now. When the 2027 COLA is announced in October, I'll break down the numbers the day they drop, so you're prepared before your letter arrives, not after. The total savings on the table: MSP can put over $8,000 a year back in your pocket. Extra help is worth $5,700. An IRMAA appeal. If you qualify at the first tier, that's $974 a year. At the highest income bracket, up to $6,936. That's real money. Your money. You paid into this system for decades. You held up your end. Now you know how to hold the system to its end. If you have a parent, a neighbor, or a friend on Social Security, send them this video. The 6 million who qualify for help and don't know it, one of them might be someone you love.